Hi guys, this is John here. Now in this section, we will understand that now you have decided whether your company is going to be a product company or is it going to be a service company. Now we need to understand who is our customer. It's a very important question. So the first question you need to ask, who is going to buy my product or service? Who is this person or who is this company? So, this who can either be an individual or it could be a large company or a small company. So it could either be an individual or a company or both. Let us take an example. Let us say that in the case of Drona Aviation, if you are a student, or let's say you are a person who likes drone as a hobby. So Drona Aviation can sell to you as a student or a hobbyist who likes drones. Drona Aviation can also sell to another company, for example, like VCAN Education, who then takes the drones and provides training to these hobbyists or students for some money. So, although this is a service, but for Drona Aviation, the customer could be either a company, which is VCAN Education, or also an individual, which is either a student or a hobbyist. So, Drona Aviation knows that their customers are individuals as well as companies. Now, Drona Aviation also needs to understand what type of students can use. So, I'm going to write the question, what type of students who can use their products or their drones. So, it's not only important to understand whether it's an individual or a company, but also to understand the type of individual and company who will buy your product. This is very important because depending on who your customer is, you will design the product accordingly. You will decide how to sell the product. And another important factor is you will decide the cost of the product depending on who your individual is or who your company is. The price at which Drona would sell the drones to a VCAN company, VCAN is the name of the company, versus Drona selling drones to a student or a hobbyist, these price points or the cost will be different. They won't be the same. They'll be different. So, as a company, you need to understand who your customer is. Let us look at another example. In the previous segment, we saw that Enabler makes a product called as DIY hologram kit. Now, this is a product which is bought again by students or hobbyists or even teachers. And all three, if you see, fall under the individual category. Whereas now there are certain schools who buy these hologram kits from Enabler for a fee, and they set up labs. So schools, even though they are not a company, but we will consider them as a business, whereas students, hobbyists, and teachers are individuals. And it's not only important to know whether it's schools or individuals, but also the type of schools that will buy their products. And also, it's important for Enabler as a company to understand the type of students, the type of hobbyists, and the type of teachers. So, for example, Enabler realized that it's typically the physics teachers who are more interested in their product rather than the chemistry teachers. So, as I said before, it's very important also to understand the type of your customer. So, that's another example of knowing your customer. Now, let us understand one more term before I move on in this section. If, as a company, you are selling to an individual or a customer, you meaning your business, you've given your business or your venture a name. When, as a business, you're selling your product or your service directly to an individual, this is called as B2C, or business to customer. B2C, that's the term we'll be using. Versus if you're selling to another company or another business. So companies are businesses. If your business is selling the product or service directly to another company, then we will call this B2B, which is business to business. So these terms are very important when you start your own company. Are you B2C or are you B2B? You could be both. So as we saw in the previous cases, here in Drona's case, they are selling drones to students who are individuals. So this makes it B2C. And since they are also selling to another company here, which is Wecan Education, this makes it B2B. And in this case, they are both B2C as well as B2B. So you got to understand this, that you can be both at the same time. In Enabler's case, again, they are B2C because they are selling directly to students, hobbyists, and teachers. And they are also selling it to schools. So this makes it, you can guess what? B2B. So in this section, we need to understand who is our customer, who is going to buy our product or service. Is it an individual or is it another company? So basically, are we B2C or are we B2B? And it is also important for us to understand the type of our customer. So in this section, you will have to fill out and specify whether you're a B2C or a B2B, as well as are you selling to a specific type of customer. And looking at these two examples, you need to ask yourself whether you're a B2B or a B2C and the type of customer that you're planning to target. Let's look at another example. You must have heard of this famous software called Microsoft Office. Now, Microsoft Office actually consists of multiple softwares like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. So Microsoft as a company has an option of selling directly to individuals like you and me, and we pay a subscription fee, basically a yearly fee for using these softwares, and that costs us some money. And then you have companies like Eduvance, Enabler, and bigger companies like Uber, Ola, McKinsey, and all these companies directly buy these software licenses from Microsoft. So this makes Microsoft Office a B2C business model as well as a B2B. So here they are directly selling to customers. Now, let us look at the different types of customers that Microsoft Office can target. So as a student, you can use Microsoft Office. As a working professional, you can use Microsoft Office. So let us say if you're a car driver, a guy who only drives cars every day, do you think you would use Microsoft Office? The answer is no. If you're a student, you will use. If you're a working professional, you would use Microsoft Office. But if you're a car driver, you wouldn't. So it is very important, as I said, for you to understand the type of your customer. So I hope in this section you've understood to identify who your customer is, whether it's an individual or whether it's a business. So there we understand the concepts of B2C and B2B. And also you need to identify who is the exact customer who's going to buy your product or service. So go ahead and put that in the Entrepreneurship platform before you move on to the next section. I hope this section was clear. I will see you in the next section, guys. Thank you.